Hello and welcome to Talk About It, the Candid Conversation Show with Muriel
and Ruby,
where we discuss topics that are unspoken and taboo in our community. We have the pleasure of having a conversation with Erik Gray, actor, businessman, and entrepreneur. We will be discussing his rise as an actor, entrepreneur, and so many more things.
Erik, welcome to the show.
Hi, how you guys doing?
Doing great.
Welcome.
How are you?
Great. I mean, I'm in the presence of two beautiful women.
Well, thank you.
It's always
We
a pleasure.
appreciate
Well,
it.
thank you.
Appreciate it. We believe that everyone has a story to share,
Yes.
and we believe sharing is caring.
Mm-hmm.
We would like for you to share some of your story. Can you start with how was it growing up in your household?
Oh, it was interesting. I started off growing up in a single-parent household, but
Okay.
unlike a lot of people, my father raised me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, most of my life,
Okay.
until about 15 or so, 14,
Okay.
15. So that was interesting, being raised by a man in
Mm-hmm.
a man's household. Cooking wasn't probably as good as
Right.
man, but he definitely instilled some good morals in me, and the drive to want to be successful.
Exactly.
It's good.
Where was mom?
Oh, well, Mom, she was a single parent also.
Okay.
I have multiple brothers and sisters, and
Okay.
she was spending her time trying to raise them or whatever. And she ended up having an issue, which is very common in the community.
Yes, it is.
She ended up having a drug issue.
Oh, okay.
And
Sorry to
so
hear about
in my
that.
younger years, I just remember going through some of those times when my mom, had to go visit her at little centers or whatever.
Okay.
But in the end, she turned completely around and
Good.
just been a great mom.
Awesome.
And,
That's good.
man, listen, strongest woman I know. I love her to death. You know what I mean? She doesn't hide anything about where she's been, how far she's come.
Good.
She
the
loves to
struggles
tell
that
her
she's
story.
Been through. Yeah, 'cause she's been through a lot, and man,
She lives
she
here?
gives a lot. Yeah, she
lives-
definitely does. She definitely does. And I ended up moving with her when I was 15 or so,
Okay.
and that was the experience because it was just total different types of mindsets or whatever. But yeah.
How was it though when living with your father? Didn't you miss your mom? Did you feel something was missing?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I couldn't wait till the weekends.
Yeah.
Because that would be her time to get
Okay.
me, or I would go there.
Okay.
And man, it would just be my whole week would be just in preparation of
see
being able
her.
to go see her on the weekends, and my other brothers and
sisters.
sisters, because
That's
I
good.
come from a family of 6.
Wow.
Oh, that's a
3
big family.
boys, 3 girls.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, definitely.
That is good. Well, we know a little bit about your story. I would say, from the streets to the screens.
I like that title. It's a
What
good
you
book.
think about that?
That's a good book.
That's a good book. Not only that, that would be a good movie.
You think so? Could I share that?
Sure.
Oh, okay. Would you buy it?
Sure, I sure would. So I know you have a story, and we don't have a lot of time, but I know you can tell us a little bit about what I mean by from the streets to the screens. Because
Wow,
everyone,
where do we
we
start?
all have a story, right?
All right.
All of us have a story.
Well, my story is a little interesting. I was supposed to graduate from high school at 12 years old.
12?
Right. I was doing fractions at 4. My
Oh, my
father
goodness.
was
You're
a
a brain.
teacher.
Doogie Howser.
School. Sort of, right? And it's so interesting because I went from that to not graduating.
Oh, okay.
And
What
I
happened?
went back to graduate, but the streets, I
Yeah.
found myself
Calling you.
Caught up.
caught up trying to fit in. You
Yes.
know what I mean? And peer pressure.
Peer pressure.
Okay.
So I always tell parents, man, peer pressure is very strong.
Oh, yeah.
Very
And a
real.
lot of time we don't give light to the pressures that come with being a kid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because
Right.
people tend to look up to people in the age group.
That's true.
And no matter how much knowledge you come with, they can't identify with you because the people that they're around,
Right.
you know. And so I ended up, like I say, being in the streets.
Mhm. You let the streets raise you, huh?
Yeah, definitely. I don't even know where to start with that, but I had a extensive career in the street,
Okay.
running around. And
Did you ever get
getting caught
arrested?
up.
Ever get in
Yeah,
trouble with the police?
definitely did.
Okay.
Definitely did. I did some juvenile things, and as an adult, and I used to have a mouthful of gold teeth. Not to say that gold teeth
Right.
make you a bad
Right,
person,
right.
but at 15, I had all the gold teeth in my
Look,
mouth,
where you-
and I was like,
where you making all this money to get this
anti-establishment.
gold?
Right,
You know?
yeah, well, yeah, and I was out, I thought the streets were what was needed to be able to equal the playing field.
But what
We-
made you change? What happened? What happened that you just
Well, I
stepped
learned
up?
that money isn't everything.
It's not.
It's just a device that we can use to make life better.
That's it.
Right.
But if you're caught up in a bad life, it just makes life worse.
Yes.
And also, I lost a lot of friends. Like, you know, as a teenager, a lot of my friends got killed.
Oh no.
And, you know, a lot of my friends got life in prison. And I just seen this just happen. It's like, it's not a dream. It's not imaginary.
Right.
This is for
It's
real.
for real.
Like, and I watched what happened to their families after that.
Exactly. It affects you.
I watched what happened to their kids.
Right. They have to live without them. Well,
Right.
Not being in the home.
Right. And
Right.
I had to say, hey, how you doing?
Right.
You talk to your father, things like that. And it's not worth it.
It's not.
It's not worth it. It can seem fun, but man, that fun goes away.
Yeah.
You know, you may have 2-3 years of success, and now you're doing 45 years in the cell.
Unbelievable.
Or you may have 2-3 years of success, and now you forever in the grave.
Right.
I always tell people, you know, life is short, death is long.
Ooh.
I like that.
Okay.
And I live by that. So you need to make sure that every second, every moment, every minute counts.
Absolutely.
Right?
Make it count.
Right? And when we die, what will we leave?
Right.
What legacy will we leave? Will I leave a legacy of death and despair
Right.
and hurt, or will I leave one of happiness, growth,
That's right.
change, right?
Well, generational curse.
Yes.
So
Right. I
You
break
broke-
them.
Broke it.
I believe
And
we
continue
break
to break
those.
them.
We
Right.
break those, and that's very important in life. Breaking those curses,
Absolutely.
understanding what they are. You know what I mean, and not getting caught up with trying to live for the Joneses, trying to be the Joneses.
That's right.
Because usually the Joneses want to be the whites.
it's true.
You know,
It's true.
so
That's
you know
true.
you get caught up in a lie,
Yes.
and you have to figure that out. So, you know, I just thank God that I had the opportunity to figure it out. That I didn't be a statistic in that way. I'm a statistic to show that we
That's
can
great.
all change
But
no
what
matter
happened?
where you come from.
Why? Why
When
did
did
you
the-
change?
yes.
When did the change happen?
Well, kids
Oh,
Okay.
are a big thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Very big
And-
thing.
years ago, I had a girlfriend, and she had a son, and I think I started dating her. He was probably about 1.
Okay.
I'm right around 1, Tyler, and I dated her, and for about 2 or 3 years,
Okay.
and her best friend, and my son, because I felt he was mine, I
Right.
raised him, and her friend's daughter died in a car
oh my
accident.
goodness.
Oh no.
And that kind of just really changed me from that point
Okay.
too, because I
Wake
just
up.
seen no matter who you are, death can come,
Doesn't matter.
Anyone.
right?
Right.
Doesn't
And I
matter.
don't care about the
How much
goods
money
you
you
put
have.
out, the money you have.
Right.
It can happen,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
And that kind of just made me change. And from that point, I just was like, I want to do something different.
Okay.
I want to, you know, I want to put something good in the world.
Absolutely.
Even in the times where I was out, where I would consider myself destructive, I still would spend time trying to do positive things.
You
I
had a good
wasn't
heart.
right. I didn't just plunder or whatever. I
Right.
tried to do better within the ranges that I had. I
Okay.
would try to help kids that wasn't, you know, didn't have food or
Right.
monies or things like that. And a lot of people kind of looked up to me, and I just always was about trying to help people figure out a way.
That's good.
So I can't show them how to figure out a way if I'm just doing negative things. Because
That's
no
right.
matter what I show them, they're still going to say, well, what you doing this?
Exactly.
And that's
you telling
probably
me to do this.
Right, and that's probably the reason you can do these things
Uh-huh.
for me. So how can that, so
It's true.
that and also influences, being lucky enough to meet people that were in different places in life, right?
Right.
And that gave me a different mentality that things are possible. Sometimes when you're in low income areas and things like that, you tend to look up to drug dealers because a lot of our parents you see working day to day and they telling you to stay in school and you're telling me to stay in school, but you were sort of in school
working
you're
two
struggling.
jobs. You working 2 jobs
Right.
and you're struggling. Like,
and I'm seeing this guy out here, girl, and they're living a life, seeming like they're driving a car that you wish you had and I want and carefree. But what you start learning when you get to meet people, that's why I hate the term no new friends. That's a horrible thing. Maybe not a friend, but associate.
Right. There
You
go.
need new associates. That's how you
Absolutely.
find new levels
That's right.
and new things to do.
That's
So
the
I started
truth.
seeing that people that I met that didn't come from my circumstances had different opportunities.
a different way of thinking.
Different way of
Yes.
thinking. And I started saying, man, you know, I might like this guy, he's driving this fancy car and he got these jewels on, but I'm seeing this guy who didn't come from that world. His parents had a degree, a 2-year degree here. Maybe one was a teacher, maybe one was an engineer, or one's a teacher. Just something. It's not. They're not brain surgeons or anything, and they're staying over here in $1 million houses.
Right.
And
can't
better
we?
and $500,000. And I always been a numbers guy. I'm like, man, they just paying this and this. And the car that I see the local drug dealer in driving fancy, that's the kid's car he's driving to high school.
Isn't that something?
So I'm like, well, man, he's taking penitentiary chances to do this. And these people just went to
working.
school.
Right. They went to school and they're working.
4 years of prison and nothing. Start over from zero with a felony, or 4 years of prison. 4 years in school and you have a degree.
That's right.
And now they got to pay you a minimum of this. And you know, with 20% of that, and we put it together, we could get this beautiful house,
That's
this
right.
mansion, and everything else, right?
The legit way.
The legit way. And that's another thing. Like I said, I wanted to at some point be able to get the kids together and take them on like a bus tour. I want to take them to all these neighborhoods, you know, where they see these big, beautiful houses.
You can
and they
have
think
it
that
one
they
day.
can't be in.
They can.
And tell them, do you know the easiest way is to just go to school?
Yeah.
Go to school, get a degree.
Just go to school, get a degree.
Yeah.
Or be a business owner or something, but it's not unattainable.
Right.
It just takes some good credit and a little money down.
That's true.
You know, he spent $10,000 on the rims, you spent $10,000 on the mansion.
Yeah.
And you got all the rims you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
Right. I just think that they just don't understand what it takes to get things. And a lot of times we don't explain that.
what
And
it
if
is.
I never took a young man from that area
Right.
over there to see, and they would probably say, if I was to ask them, how do you think this place was got? Or who lives in this place?
They would say
They would
drugs.
say, oh, some kind of rapper
Right.
or a celebrity
Or a
or basketball
football
player
player,
or something.
right.
I say, no, your teacher.
Right.
That's what they say. And they be like, for real?
You got to put in the work.
Yeah. So, you know, I just choices,
Exactly.
opportunity,
That's right.
and drive will get you anything you want.
You can do anything you want.
You put your mind to it.
Especially now with the young people, young adults, people like you and me, that you can do and you can be anyone you want. Look what's going on right now in the world. Look at the election. Look what, you could do and be anybody you want.
Right.
Just because it seems like it's so far away, you can get that.
It's very attainable.
Oh, yeah.
I have to admit, you know, our current president made me feel like I could be a president one day.
Yeah,
I don't know if I
You can.
would want to be,
Yeah, but
I'm
you
saying
could.
if he can do it, anybody
do it.
can,
You
right?
could too.
So, you know, definitely, and that's another thing, like, being a dreamer, I love it. I tell all people, continue to dream.
That's right.
And there's a separation in people. Some people have given up on dreams, and some people are dreamers, and
can
we
happen.
don't see things eye to eye because they've given up.
Right,
And they
you
say it's
can't give
not
up.
possible, right?
Yeah.
And a dreamer, he's still dreaming, and he's still trying to make the impossible possible.
It can happen.
But that is very possible.
It
That's
is
right.
possible.
Right? All it takes is that determination,
That's it.
some
Drive.
faith, that drive and work, and you can make it
That's it.
all tangible.
And you've done
that's right.
You've
I've
done
changed
just that.
myself.
Tell us about that transition.
You've done that.
What did you transition into after being in the streets?
A person that cares, a person that chooses to help and uplift and to push away, You know what I mean? A person that feels like no matter what I can do,
That's
I
right.
feel I'm never no better than you.
anybody
That's
else, right?
Right?
Right.
And that's how I am. When I'm on a movie set, I want to treat people better than me. You know,
Right.
I don't believe in the diva mentality,
Right.
none of
That's
that.
good.
It's like
They're not
we're all
beneath
here
you.
working. In order for me to be at my greatest, so do you have to be when we working together.
Yeah, that's
because
good.
as the saying says, you're only as strong as your weakest link.
That's the truth, too.
So I
That
gotta
is
make
true.
sure all those links are strong, right?
That's
I
true.
can't be the strongest.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, that's pretty much,
So you're into acting.
yes.
Tell us what
He's
have
an
you done?
actor.
Yes.
Well, we went to
We
the
went to
movie
the-
premiere of The Breaking Point,
right here in Orlando.
and that movie was amazing.
Cool.
we
I'm
had a
glad you
blast.
guys like
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So
but
proud of
from
y'all.
there, we know you've done so much.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the only movie that you've done.
Right.
So if you'll just tell us, which movie do you think, or would you say, that you find yourself in the most?
That's interesting.
Eric Gray.
You know, it's kind of a split because that one was one, and this movie I did called A Turnaround.
Okay. We
It
saw The
kind
Turnaround, too.
of gives me that feeling of turning around, that feeling of being somebody set in one way, but life makes you be a total different person.
That's right. You made a turnaround.
A turnaround, right? And it's not running away from who you were
Right.
or being ashamed. Because I'm not one bit ashamed of anything I've done. And a lot of people say,
It
you
was
know,
your
if they
story.
could, they would change things. Yeah, there's certain small things I would change, but I don't want to change anything that would make me me.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Right.
what makes you you.
Right, because I'm happy with me. You know, that's a lot of people, we have to be happy with ourselves, right?
That's where
That's
it
right.
starts.
So I'm happy with me so far as my heart and what I know I want people to achieve and have or
Okay.
whatever, right?
Right.
Because I like to see everybody next to me enjoying.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, some people want to see people at the Lord. No, I want to see
No.
everybody
Let us all.
happy, kids, all colors, races, creeds,
Yeah. That's
right.
backgrounds. I want to see us enjoy things because that's the best time,
That's right.
right?
It's true.
Divisiveness and division is a horrible thing.
Oh, it is.
and it
it
seems
is.
like that's where we're at right
A
now.
lot of people.
Unfortunately, yes.
Right.
But you know, sometimes we have to go through the hard things to recognize what matters, right?
That's the
Absolutely.
truth.
So
Yes.
I take this time, I think we all should take 2020,
Yes.
if I have to date it
As
or
a
whatever,
lesson.
as a lesson.
Mm,
that
eye opener.
no matter who you are, you can fall,
Oh, yes.
you can rise.
That's right.
Right?
That's true.
But you can change, and you just have an opportunity to be better, right?
Every single
And
day.
we need to definitely just take a breath in, man, because at any time we could possibly not be here.
Oh,
So
yes.
what are we going to
Any
do with
moment.
the time that we have here?
That's right.
Are we going to love and bring light, or
Are
are
we
we going
gonna
to bring
hate?
darkness, right?
That's right.
Because
No.
when we bring darkness, we also have to
Dark.
live in that
That's the
dark,
truth.
right? And don't know what's around the corner.
There you go.
So, yeah.
There you go.
You're such a humble person.
I know, right?
You are so very humble and just an easygoing
You
person.
think so?
Yes, you
I
are.
tell my mama this.
You know, my favorite thing to do is to be underneath a blanket watching movies. Now, I have many favorite actors. Who are some of your favorite actors?
Of course, Denzel.
Of course.
Jamie Foxx.
Yes.
Oh, love him.
I think, to me, to be able to take a character the way he does,
Oh, my God.
and truly transform,
That's right.
All the way.
is amazing.
Jamie Foxx, you hear that?
It's like amazing, like seriously, like, you know, you watch movies like Ray Charles and things like that, and this man is Ray Charles.
Right.
Yes.
You forget who.
Right.
Well, is he the same person,
Right.
or am I
Right.
forgetting the old Ray Charles? It's like, this is Ray,
Yeah.
right?
Right. That's
You
right.
forget Jamie.
Absolutely.
And to me, that is amazing.
But that's a good actor. But
Yes.
that's what you do. You put yourself in the role and you play that person.
Right. Listen,
Forget about Eric. You played that person.
to
why
even
is that
slightly be mentioned by Jamie? Listen.
I know, right?
Yeah,
I know.
but-
Goodness.
But yeah, I try to put myself to a character, and I just try to see life through the eyes that he sees
Right.
things, with what gives him the energy to do what it is that he does.
does.
How does he interact with people,
Right.
right? Or just how would he display his emotions at a certain time versus what I would do.
Right.
And that's another thing, you know, a lot of time in acting, you can get caught up in yourself all the time. But, you know, I don't judge because to each his own.
Right.
Like, some people really want to see you be you in every role, right? So I don't knock that, right? It's room for everybody.
Right.
But I just really, like, enjoy watching those people that can be anybody,
That's right.
anything.
My goodness.
You
Played
know
that
what
role.
I mean?
That's what I call a good
Yes.
actor or
Right.
actress.
My Lord.
Right.
Have you cried on set yet? Have you had to do that?
You know, unfortunately, I've never got a chance to
Really?
be
Okay.
just emotionally like
that
that.
would push you
but-
totally.
Because they've had him as a hard person.
Yeah,
He plays that
I've
tough
been
guy.
given a few tough guy roles.
Okay.
Now, there are some other films that I have played different roles that haven't made it out yet.
Okay.
But it's one I just did called 45 Seconds where I
Okay.
had a chance to play a multitude of characters.
Oh, really?
Kind of how it's said, I get to play, it's kind of like a bank heist thing, but I
Okay.
get to go in as different people. Play,
Dressed up as
African
different people?
guy,
Okay.
this, an old lady.
Oh,
just
wow.
I played a lot of different roles.
Okay.
Then I'm actually in the movie an actor auditioning for roles.
So you played like 10 people?
Right, and then I'm like, I've got a girlfriend,
Right.
and then I've got my friends and cousins, and it's interesting, and I really enjoy that because I got a chance to play a lot of different characters, and I that's what I like to do,
Okay.
right? Because some people may think I'm always serious because they see
talent.
roles,
That's-
but
yeah.
I like to joke, I like to do other things, like I just did a horror movie, and I got to play.
How was
That
that?
was
got-
nice, huh?
I enjoyed
Different.
it. I enjoyed it. I think I want to play in that
I saw the
genre,
clip. I like
genre
that.
a little
Yeah.
longer. You got to see the clip?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
It was good. It was creepy. I love scary
Yeah.
movies.
Right. And that's my favorite
Yeah.
thing,
Really?
right? I love scary.
I'm surprised you know. Maybe this is the first of many scary
Maybe
movies
so.
for you.
Maybe so. I just think I want to maybe be on the other side sometime and put on some prosthetics and
Do it.
Oh, wow.
Just do it.
debauchery and just go around.
We're looking forward to seeing it. Do it.
You know what? I always have to take notes, like put it in my OneNote in my phone and everything, because I can't remember anything. How do you remember your lines?
That's a good
You make
question,
yourself.
right?
You put your. That's how you.
Oh my gosh.
You put yourself in as the character.
It's so hard to remember all of those lines.
That's a very good question. I can remember back when I got the very first chance to play a role, and they gave me that notebook. I was like, my
Here.
God,
Yeah.
how am I going to
Yeah.
remember all of this? Like, woo! Like, I never prided myself on having that great a memory, but you know, once you read it, and if you like it, it calls you. It's kind of those words begin to just fly off that page because when you become that character, you start to think how that character think.
Right.
So some of these words just naturally in the form that they're wrote, that's how they come out of you. So
There
it's
you go.
there, but it's coming out of you
Right.
anyways.
Okay.
So it seems like it'd be a lot, but if you like it and you really like that character, those words become
Okay.
you and they stick to you. It's like a song. You know how you remember a
Oh
song?
yes. Mm-hmm.
Now you might cut the music off and can't say none of those words, right? None of the
Right.
lyrics. You're
Right.
like, I might know 3 or 4 to
Right.
the
Right.
book. But when it's on in the music and you're kind of in it,
Yeah.
well, I'm in the moment. I'm that character and I'm in it. You know what I mean? So yeah.
That's a good actor, though. That's good. You probably played the role better than what they even thought it could be played. Like, wait a
Hopefully
minute.
so.
Wait a minute.
Hopefully so.
That's
Everybody, y'all tell me.
What keeps Erik mastering and pushing so hard to just be the best that you can be? What is it about Erik that has you just, I can't stop, I can't quit, I've got to do it, I've got to get there?
Well, first off, for me, my kids.
That's
There you
right.
go.
You know,
That's
for
it.
me, they are everything. They give me
nice.
all my energy,
There you go.
all of my everything. Like, I really enjoy every second with them because they grow
That's
so
great.
fast.
Oh,
How old?
yes.
How many kids do you have?
I have 4.
Okay.
Wow.
All right, so I have 3 girls and my
One
littlest
little
is
boy.
a little boy.
Oh, my goodness.
And I just love spending time
Yeah,
with
that's a
them.
blessing.
A
You know,
great
maybe
role
I
model.
don't get some time to myself, but for me, it's like I don't need self-time. I just enjoy them.
Yeah.
Because me growing up and single families and going through that stuff,
Right.
and man, I always kind of model myself after wanting a family.
Okay.
So I always think about me as a kid and the emotions I felt, and maybe I wanted to
Right.
be closer to a particular
Exactly.
parent and have more time. So I make sure I give that time and more to my kids. You
That's
know,
good.
they control my days.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. And I know they just love their daddy. You're a great role model, you know, to them. And
I
for
try
them.
to be.
That's right.
I try
That's
to
good.
be.
I mean,
try
nobody's
to-
perfect.
No,
You know what I'm
we're
saying?
human.
But, you know, for them to watch you and the things that you do,
Right.
you know, that you give back and you do all these movies and, you know, you're in the community, they're probably like, look at my daddy. That's my daddy. That's my daddy.
I try to take them with me as much as I can
That's
on some
good.
of these things so
That's
they
good.
can get a chance to see it. And it's funny, they actually, for Halloween, they just randomly, like, 10 o'clock, and excuse me, teachers, and it was a school night. They decided they wanted to do a Halloween movie probably
Right.
like a week before Halloween.
Uh-huh.
And they just got the little phones and they made a movie. And I was so surprised at how it turned out. I was
Watching
kind
you.
of amazed. I was like, y'all did all that?
That's
Right.
right.
Wow.
Watching
They did a
you.
part 2, and I
See?
was like, okay. Okay. And my daughter was like, yeah, Daddy, we can put this on YouTube, or maybe you could put it we gonna put it on Netflix. I was like, oh, you got a deal on that?
All right,
huh?
I know.
So you thinking
You
the
gonna
right
make Daddy some
way,
money.
right? Yeah, let's make this money. I don't know how they gonna do with an iPhone movie, but
That's
let's
okay.
do it.
They're trying though, but that
yeah.
shows you that they watch.
Right. Yeah.
Kids watch.
They sure do.
They might want to do that one day. They might want to be an actor or actress. You never know.
Whatever it is that they do, I'm gonna definitely support them.
That's right.
You have to.
You have to. And encourage.
Yes.
Right.
Our kids, they're very impressionable. What advice would you give to our young people today?
Don't get caught up in trends.
Mm.
Be a leader, not a
Follower.
follower.
That's right.
Listen to your heart and utilize your mind.
There you go.
And dream.
Yes.
That's right.
There's no dream that you have that you can't achieve. I don't care
Correct.
if you're dreaming of flying.
Yep.
If you
It can
believe it
happen.
enough, I feel one day you'll be Superman or woman, whichever it is. But and know that time is very short.
Very.
So those days and those hours and those minutes that we speak of, man,
Right.
they pass. Because
Yes.
I remember I was a kid.
That's right.
And now look.
When you're a teenager, then you know, and it just keep going. And to us, it seemed like yesterday, and to the kids, it seemed like so far from them.
Right.
And I always let them know I was just you.
That's right.
And as a matter of fact, I still feel like I'm you, but I know I'm not when I look at my ID. But you know what I mean?
Right.
So utilize this
That
time.
time.
And this time when you're young, you get to cultivate and grow anything you want.
That's right.
Right?
Good. Very good.
Anything you
Love it.
want.
It's the
Because you
truth.
got nothing but time ahead.
That's
and
right.
things take time.
It does.
Then you get to a point to where you don't have time ahead. You know what I mean? And you thinking back.
Yes.
I wish I woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. We can't even take back this interview from where we started. Time
sure
has
can't.
passed.
Yeah,
That's
it's done.
over. That's
It's done.
sealed,
Can't
right?
get that back.
That's right.
So they have to understand that it's very important.
That's true.
You
I
know
like
what?
that.
2020 has been horrendous. And I really want to talk about this. As a black man, what do you feel about this police brutality and the social injustice that's going on?
It's disheartening because I just took some kids and I was like, y'all, I want y'all to watch this movie. It was like a 12 Years a Slave, right?
Okay.
Because the young kids, they're like 15 and like 18, and now they watch their phones and they're set in their own world, right? They don't have to look at anything outside of what they want to look at
Right.
because the algorithm is going to give them more of what they're like,
Right.
and they never get to see
See
anything
it.
else, right? So
Right.
when we were younger, we had to watch sometime what your mom had on TV,
Exactly.
the stories,
Yes.
the news, grandma. You had to kind of accept some things that you didn't really want
course.
to,
Right.
They don't have to.
They
No.
don't. They have
So
options.
they get lost to an extent and then don't understand. And I always tell people, if you don't know where you come from, you don't know where you're going.
Absolutely.
We don't have to sit and just always be in that time, but we got to understand that so we can know who we are and where we want to go.
Yeah,
that's right.
And I wanted them to watch that because I wanted them to see the horrific things that
Yes.
we lived through.
And
It's probably
continue to
amazing.
live
They're
through.
probably shocked to even
Right?
see it.
And then they asked me like, "Oh, this was it." Yeah, it's like, yeah, this really happened. And guess what? It was worse than what you're looking
yes.
at. This is just what they want to put on camera.
Right.
Right.
And what makes it even bad? This is not 2,000 years ago. You looking at
Right.
it like, man, this was so long ago. No,
No.
some of your great grandparents
They can
lived
tell
through
the story,
this.
right?
Some of your grandmas. You know what I mean? And that's how close that is, right?
Right.
And they need to understand that. And me coming from where I came from and dealing with police and different things, whether it was when I was on the wrong side of the road or the right side of the road, I just saw a lot of things that fuel people to want to, go wrong.
Right.
Because it's been times where people have had the opportunity to make things better, and they came and they just brought gasoline to fires, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's an interesting conversation because my father told me years ago he wanted to be a police officer. He was going to do it for a job or for whatever, right? When he got to school, he say when he was getting interviewed, the guy told him, the chief told him, well, we want to hire you because you're a thinker. We don't need nobody to think.
Okay.
We need you to just act.
Wow.
We need you to do. We don't need
To
you
think.
deciding what
Oh, gosh.
who should go to jail, who don't. That's what the judge is for.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
You just go get them like a goon, and we don't
Bring 'em in.
And I was talked to other police officers, and they've told me the same thing, right? And that's a bad thing, right? When you really think about it.
Right.
I mean, I understand from a business standpoint,
Right.
right? But I mean, from a humanity
These are
standpoint,
people's lives.
right? These are people's lives. A charge can change this person's future forever.
That's right.
Right? It can sway them completely.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not one to say all police are bad,
No.
because that's not what I'm saying.
No.
But I'm just saying, when people are talking about police brutality, and I've been hearing about defund the police and things of that nature, my concept is it's not about defunding, it's re-education.
That's
There you go.
Right?
Right.
It's not about taking away some money. It's about we have to change the fundamental way that we
right.
do policing.
Absolutely.
Right?
Right.
And we have to understand, where did policing come from? People didn't understand police kind of came about after slavery was over, and they were like the overseers,
Right.
and they were utilized to when there was no more black men working on these farms or whatever for free.
Right.
They would pick them up for any little small charge and put
Anything.
them in prison, and they would have to work for free again,
To
so
get
you would
out.
be a slave again,
Right.
Right.
So now, when we start understanding where policing come from, it's an inherited prejudice within it anyway.
Right.
That's why when I heard it was no such thing as systematic racism, that was disgusting to me.
That's
So
right.
you telling me my life, my father's life, and my grandfather's life has been a lie. We
That's
were
what
just imagining a world, right?
Right. No.
No.
Wrong.
Right.
Wrong.
No, I've been on dark roads and been pulled over doing nothing,
Right.
and was told I was smoking weed in the car.
Right. And I
And
wasn't.
wasn't. It was my mom's car. She
Right.
would have killed me if I'd have been smoking in her car, worse than the police.
Right.
And I'm like, no. It's
Right.
like, oh, you gonna tell me you smoking weed? I'm gonna ask you one more time. And they reach for the gun.
Oh my goodness.
And it's just me and them. And I'm like,
Okay.
he like, I could kill. Told me straight up, I could kill you out here. Nobody would know
kidding me.
nothing
My
about
goodness.
it. Oh yeah.
Come
Oh my
on.
gosh.
Yeah. So it's some truth in this.
Yes,
and
there
all
is.
he wanted me to just agree with him, which is so crazy, was that I was smoking.
And
so
I
I
wasn't,
said, hey,
and
yeah,
you
I
weren't.
was smoking.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's all you had to say.
Wow.
All right, sir. Go
He
on
just
and
wanted to
enjoy
hear
your
that.
day. Yeah. So I've been in this. I know how it goes,
You're not just making up a story.
I'm not
This is
making up
something
a
you've been
story
through.
just to talk. No,
Yes.
I've been there.
So many people have that same story, and it's so sad.
And it is. And, I'm still not one to I'm just going to throw everybody out. Like, it's all of them are bad.
No, it's not all.
But the thing is, as we all know, the saying says, one bad apple spoils the bunch. But 100 good apples don't do nothing to a bad one.
Oh, gosh.
Think about that.
Right.
Don't do nothing to the bad one. The only way
That's sad.
you can do something to that bad one is to throw it away.
That's it.
And until they come out and throw those people away, because some people fresh
They
out of
definitely-
high school and had all kind of, they needed, just like when you to go and apply for a particular job
Right.
and do an aptitude test to find out if you have the type of mentality or characteristics
able
that
to
need
do that
be
job.
in sales or in this job.
Correct.
They need that for the police. They
That's
need an
right.
aptitude test.
Right.
We need to do some background on them.
Check
Not
them.
about if they had a felony.
Background, mental,
But
everything.
mental. How are they in school?
That's right.
You know, did this? Do we have issues? Of this?
Yeah,
Because
they need to change it.
you have to be honest. Being a police officer is probably the most powerful position it is.
And they don't even get paid.
These people are in control of life or death. These people can kill you and not nothing
Do any
happens.
time.
happens.
Nothing will happen.
They can choose whether you should live or die on whatever action. So they're God,
powerful.
right? They're demagogues around here. And
They
people
really
don't think
think so.
about this.
They think so.
We always try to get so much deeper than what it really is. But these people are... So anybody in control of life or death needs to be very well educated in
Very
these
well.
things.
Not just
And
how
we don't
many
even know
weeks-
if that's enough, right?
How many weeks is the police academy? Or
Oh, I forgot. I don't know if it's 3 months.
Not
5
enough?
months. I don't know.
Because it'll take you longer to be a doctor and you trying to give life.
Isn't that something?
it's true.
Well
Yeah.
said.
Yeah, that's true.
But, you know, these people, they take things personal and it's anti-police. No, we know we need police because without structure, we know a lot of us go crazy and do all kinds. You know, we sometimes we want to make a call and it's whatever about somebody's this or that happened. We understand that, right? But when I have to worry about making a call and I get arrested.
Isn't that something?
I've been in situations like that where I had to call about somebody breaking in the car, and the next thing you know, the
They're
police at
questioning
my
you.
house
They want your
questioning
ID.
me and want to know what I got going on. And I'm like, hey, I just called you about my car.
Right.
And it's like, I've been in a situation where one guy telling me to do something, and the other guy keep grabbing his gun, talk about, I told you to stay still. And I'm like, well, this guy telling me to do this,
right.
and then you got a gun, and
Come
then that
on,
police
so you don't know
officer
what to
like,
do.
yeah, he had a situation where somebody rolled up and shot it. That's not my problem.
No.
He shouldn't be here if he's, you know, having PTSD or whatever it is
He's
that's
scared.
going
Yeah,
on, right?
right.
And that's mental health. Once
Mental
again,
health, that's what it
they
is.
need mental health checks.
Yes, absolutely. We could go on and on and on.
Oh, yes.
But
you already know.
yeah,
but
we're
we
way
wanted your
over.
input.
Yes.
We really
Oh.
wanted.
We definitely
glad I
needed to
could
hear
share
that from a
something.
black man's standpoint.
Exactly.
How you felt about that.
Oh, yeah.
And I just want to add this one last thing. I remember the situation with Philando Castile.
Yes. Yes.
That touched me more than any other time because I watched a man who did everything right. We know he wasn't a criminal because he had a gun
Right,
license.
Right.
He's in the car with his girlfriend and a child. And was shot and killed in front of that
Isn't
child.
that something?
And the daughter had to watch it. She had to watch
And
it. He
recorded
had
it.
to watch himself die in front of his kids who you were sworn to protect.
Isn't that something?
And instead of them trying to figure out a way to help him survive, just sit there and watch him die. And that forever changed me because that just showed that, man, we are so vulnerable.
Oh,
Yes, we
yes.
are.
And things that are outside of our control have so much control over
us.
what happens. And I'll never forget, I had a particular car and the window had messed up. And it kind of bothered me because I was like, man, I can't roll the window down. They may just shoot in the car with the kids. And I remember I had a girlfriend. She was like, man, you got that window fixed fast because if those people say put your hand out the window and you
can't.
don't, they may think you got 10 on the car and then you got to open the car.
That's
and
true.
I had never really felt a fear like that. I'm not one to fear anything. But it just made me feel because I was thinking about my kids.
Right.
It's never me worried
Right.
because I'm not scared. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
is what it is.
Your
But
children.
my kids that have to see that.
Right.
I just would feel like I failed them, even though that's out of my
Right.
hands.
So traumatic.
But yeah, just to have that feeling just let me know, man, wow,
So
this
sad.
is 20, whatever it was at the time, was it 2020, and we still going through
Still
these
going through it.
same
Right.
things. And the people that know they took us through this have not stood up and said that, I feel like when they say race relations, we should do this. Come out and be honest. Get on
From
that
the start.
microphone, get on TV and
Right.
say, listen,
We made a
took
mistake.
you. We enslaved you. We molested, we killed, we beat, we wouldn't let you get an education. All these things for hundreds of years.
Wow.
They won't say
And
that.
we still giving you problems and acting not understanding why you're not on this level.
Right.
Everything that makes America great is because of the bloodshed of my ancestors.
right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Every riches of every company that's here, textile, anything else.
Our ancestors.
Anybody that's from here, European, otherwise, that have attained a level of riches, especially from their ancestors or was passed on because we work for free.
Yeah, that's the truth.
And if you know economy, if I'm gonna work for free and you retain all the money, you're gonna be rich, and I'm gonna be poor.
Right.
Right.
And here we are.
And if I can't be educated, then how am I ever going to surpass that? But no other species, no other human, no other race has ever came from that type of thing.
They wouldn't be able to handle it, though.
Power.
I don't believe. I don't think they can handle it.
So I'm still, we knock ourselves, but man, we haven't been 100 years out of real slavery. And look, we've been presidents. We got the first black vice president.
Right.
We hold positions in state and Congress and business.
That's right.
The world loves us in entertainment and sports and everything else.
Right.
All our music is all over the radio. It could be whatever commercial with not one of us in it.
Isn't that something?
But I feel like we have to be strong and vocal about us as black people.
That's right.
It's a minority thing, but I have to speak directly to black people.
Right.
Because we made it possible
Correct.
for all other races to come to America
Yes.
and have a chance to get a slice of that apple pie.
But a lot of people don't know that, though.
Right.
They don't want to believe that.
Right, and if you would ask me, I think just like when you come in to get your papers and you got to learn about American history, part of that American history should be a big segment on what the black American has done. And on top of that, I feel like a tax should be paid to the black community, because without us, you wouldn't have that opportunity. You wouldn't be able to come here and vote. You wouldn't be able to come here and get a job. You wouldn't be able to come here and be treated equal, right? But I see so many people come here and then they want to treat us like second-class citizens.
Exactly.
And then we get bunched in the circle with everybody. No, we are different.
That's right.
We have to get our props. You give the Indians casinos.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
But it's
like
true,
you give
though.
them casinos and all this and that,
Right.
and we get nothing. We don't get a tax break. We get nothing.
Yes.
We have to stop, and I feel
wish
like
it would
2020. We have to honestly get out here. We got to change in local elections. We got to change in statewide elections, and we have to change in elections to deal with the whole country. And we have to be vocal. We have to start putting that money into people going up and gerrymandering and just doing different things for us as a people.
And we have to do it together.
And we have to do it together.
Not
it don't
one person
matter if
can
you
do it.
Muslim or
It
she's
doesn't matter.
Christian or she's
Doesn't matter.
Baptist or Pentecostal or
Doesn't
Seventh-day Adventist. The one thing, we're black.
Right.
That's it.
Because when somebody walk up to you, they don't know what religion you in.
They just see
It's
you.
two things that a person notices: your race and are you a male or woman?
That's it.
You know what I
that's
mean?
it.
Period. And then after that is the conversation, right?
Right.
Until you speak. And this is the things that we have to go hard on, because
right.
it's showing that time can go backwards. We said how.
We're not going to let
Look
that
where
happen.
we at right now. It look like we almost had a chance to be in a dictatorship.
Yeah.
Now I understand how Hitler came to power.
God
Listen,
is
we
God is
have
so
to give
good.
him a part two,
Look,
because we
God
got to go.
God is
well,
so
I'm sorry.
no.
I'm
God is so good that
Yes, he
that
is.
did not take place.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So
Yes.
I'm happy. We're going to have a great 2021.
Oh,
right?
yes,
We're going to
that's
beat
right.
the COVID.
That's right.
And we can start seeing our beautiful faces
That's right.
more.
Instead of covering it up.
Right? And all that. Some of us, it's a positive thing, right? No, I'm just messing with you.
Eric, we're so happy that you came today.
I'm glad you invited me.
Tell me what you have going on. What's new? What can we expect from Eric?
Just expect more work.
That's right.
Just
That's
expect
right.
to see me more.
Good.
You know, take some time out. Eric Gray, pay attention.
Eric
We're
Gray.
paying
putting
attention.
in
That's
some
right.
work
Y'all
for
hear that?
all of us.
Y'all
You know
hear
what
that?
I mean?
Eric
Tell
Gray.
them how they can reach you
Definitely.
now. Tell them how they can reach you.
Oh, you can reach me at Erik_Gray.
Okay.
Grey, not AY. It's ERIK, not the C. ERIK_Gray. Or you can catch me on Facebook if that's what you want to do, at Erik Gray. And I'm always available, we'll say, right?
We'll be
Awesome.
looking out.
Awesome.
We'll be looking out
Or,
for you.
hold on, you also can support me if you like black business or business, and I employ a lot of minorities, you know.
Okay.
I employ everybody. But I have a tax firm.
Oh,
We
okay.
deal with numbers, and we want to make
great.
sure that people get their taxes taken care
That's
of.
right. Good.
And with the level of unemployment that's happened this year, it's going to be a lot of people not knowing what to do. and we can take care of you.
There you go.
And you can check us out at Cashback Mobile Tax Service.
Okay.
All right.
Cashback.
Cashback.
All right.
All
Mobile
right.
Tax Service.
We thank you so much for joining us. We
Yes,
hope that
thank
you'll
you.
come back and join us.
Anytime.
Good.
We wish you so much success, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right,
And
thank
the same
you.
to you too.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
All right.
All right. We want to thank you for joining us this evening. Please tune in next Tuesday at 6 p.m. for another transformational story. In closing, there's a quote that says, "What does not kill you makes you stronger." Our experiences make us who we are. Erik has shown us that no matter how many obstacles we may face in life, difficult roads often lead to beautiful destinations. We are real sisters sharing real stories within our community. We thank you for tuning in to talk about it, the Candid Conversation Show.